The Dartzone Pro MK3 is one of my favorite blasters to come out in quite some time. I really like this thing. For the modders out there, you know what's going on inside this thing to make it special, and there are already parts that have been made to fix some of the issues that people have had with it. But the looks, oh, I love the looks of this thing, especially when you throw a shortened muzzle on the front and some Picatinny on the side. Oh, it looks so nice, and I don't care what you say about it. It's one of the best looking blasters I've seen in a long time. Now, I do have all the parts to modify mine. This is stock. This is why it looks kind of weird on my desk. But I've been waiting for one kit to get shipped to my door so we could check it out together before I throw everything into it. So let's get this box open and see what it is. One of the big downsides to the MK3 is its rate of fire. It is really slow, especially for a blaster that is like this. It should be much higher. One of the ways you can get that rate of fire up is by swapping the motors, or you can increase the voltage going to the blaster. Increasing the voltage has its own downsides to it, but swapping the motor out will break your thrower arm, which is why there's replacements for it. But what if you didn't have to buy a replacement, and what if you didn't have to swap the motor out to get a higher rate of fire? That is what we're going to be checking on this video. This is the Mecha RoF Plus kit from CreateWithEzekiel, or NerfEZE as some of you might know him. If you aren't familiar with that name, you might know him from some of the products that he's made, including the Magic Dart Loader, and one of my all-time favorite kits that's just so absurd, it's awesome, the Auto Prime Longshot stock, which I just love. And he's always tinkering with stuff, so he's definitely worth a follow if you're into like new and cool ideas. According to him, the Mecha RoF Plus doubles the rate of fire purely by mechanical means without electrical modifications, which is great for weirdos like me who like using full-length darts for HVZ, but also like shooting half-lengths for other things. So that means we don't have to swap out internals or use an entirely new blaster if we really like this one, which is really nice. When you're ready to mod your MK3 and you have it open, all you need are these three parts: the arm, the pusher, and the gear. And I'd also recommend getting some lubricant to make things run smoothly. Installing these is pretty easy. Let's start with the thrower arm. Remove the stock thrower arm, lubricate up the new one, and put it in where the old one was. Make sure that you not only put the spring onto the little spring hook, but you also move the thrower arm off of the screw peg and make sure it moves smoothly along its course of travel. Replacing the pusher arm is even easier than that. Simply remove the stock pusher arm, lubricate the new one where you think it might possibly make some contact with other plastic, and put it in on the thrower arm. The gears are a little trickier, but it's still a very simple process. After unscrewing the gearbox cover, take out all the gears and put them above your work area in the order in which you take them out. The smallest one is the closest to the motor gear. Lubricate your new gear and the gear shaft that it goes on, and put the gears back on, moving right to left for easiest installation. Add a little extra lube and you're done. That's it. And there you have it. 3 pieces, pretty dang easy to put together, and doesn't really require an installation video for you to figure out where things go. Though Ezekiel does have a YouTube video on his channel going over the entire installation of this kit. Let's throw the other half of the shell back onto the blaster and see what type of performance gain we get.
They really like going to the left, huh?
So this kit is pretty darn cool in my opinion. Being able to almost double the rate of fire of your MK3 without having to do any electrical mods or anything complicated to the system inside of it is super neat and very appealing, especially for a blaster that I feel needs its rate of fire increased. Excellent job by Ezekiel on this. But that doesn't mean there aren't some downsides to consider if you are interested in getting this kit. So let's go over that very quickly. I became aware of this first downside even before I ordered my kit, as it was acknowledged by Ezekiel in his Facebook post, going over sort of the function of the kit. And that has to do with going from full auto back to semi. In the stock MK3, all you have to do is flip the selector switch and you can go about your semi-auto shooting whatevers. With the kit installed, you have to hold the rev, hit the main switch, and wait for the teeth of the gears to allow that pusher arm to freely travel in semi-auto mode before you can put it into the semi-auto mode and use it like you would a Strife. And this to me is a big downside to this kit. You don't always want to be spamming your darts, and especially with a blaster that has both the functionality of a rapid strike and a Strife, I would want to use this in its semi-auto mode most of the time. So if I just busted a whole bunch of zombies coming at me during HVZ, and I want to go back to being able to just pick them off one by one without having to spray darts everywhere. Maybe I'm low on ammo, maybe it's for some other reason. Having an extra step that takes my focus off of the surroundings onto timing things right is quite the hassle, especially if that situation calls for you to know exactly what's going on. During HVZ, I could see that messing someone up horribly and leading to them being tagged out. So big downside comes from having to time the gear in order to let the pusher go back into semi-auto mode. The second issue I ran into came with getting this kit to fire properly and consistently, and that came mostly from what darts I was using and how many darts I was using. So if you're like me, sometimes you don't really focus on how many darts go into your mag, you just do it by feel, and when the darts stop moving, that's about when you stop loading, right? With Talon mags, especially with this kit, if I went over 15 darts in a mag, this thing had a horrible time trying to get those darts out.
Short darts, eh?
I don't know if it has to do with the amount of pressure from the darts pushing up towards the pusher arm or something, but if I went over 15, this thing was having a terrible time. And with full-length darts, it really didn't like very used darts. And I think that has to do with the part of the pusher arm not coming down a super duper amount and kind of flicking off the soft foam of very used darts. So if you're gonna use this kit, make sure you count how many darts are going to your magazine and use good quality darts, or at least darts that are used but aren't super duper soft. The second issue of getting the consistency up came from me having to do some work on the pusher arm. Now when I buy 3D printed parts, I always assume I'm gonna have to do a little bit of work to get them fitting nicely, moving smoothly, whatever. To me, doing a little bit of post-processing just comes with the territory of 3D printed parts. Other people want their parts to come from the shop and work perfectly right out of the package that they got them in. So two camps to this. I don't mind doing some work, so it's really not a big deal to me to kind of tweak this just a little bit to get it working perfectly. My problem came with mainly the half-length pusher part of the pusher arm. It was making contact with another part of the pusher arm bit, and I felt that if I trimmed down the back of the half-length pusher piece, it would bend a bit more down, therefore engaging with more of the dart so it could push it through the flywheels more consistently. And I think it worked. I don't know if this was like a placebo effect, but I did find that it was shooting better after I did that mod. Another way that I got this thing shooting better was removing some of the full length part of the pusher. When I had the full length mags going, it felt like the arm was gliding over the top of them and they didn't get enough room to seat in front of the pusher so it could push them out. So I removed a little bit of material to add a little bit more space before engaging with the dart. And I feel like that also helped. This could just be a whole thing that I did for no reason. Maybe it was the darts I was using. Maybe it's from just overloading the mags. I don't know, but I did do a little bit of work and it seemed to help. So pay attention to your pusher arm and how it's engaging with the darts. You may have to do a little bit of cleanup, but that's not really a big deal to me, but I know to some of you, it might be. If those aren't deal breakers to you and you are interested in getting an easy to install rate of fire kit for your MK3, it's going to cost you just under $30, which is not a bad price at all. It comes with all the parts that make it go, plus a Talon mag adapter in either vertical or angled, which is cool for people who like angled Talon mags. Without a Talon mag adapter, it's even cheaper. As always, I'll have a link down below that you can click on to go check out the kit or purchase it for yourself or somebody else. As for if I keep this kit inside my MK3, I don't know. As much as I like shooty spam, I also like the idea of having a more conservative blaster build, so maybe I'll make both. One being the 1 mag, 1 tag RoF kit, the other one being the stock internals so I can not shoot all my darts in the first 5 minutes of an HVZ mission, but we'll see. It's a very cool kit. I'm happy I bought this, and I definitely should do something with it. So I'll probably do 2 builds. But that's it for this video. Hope you all enjoyed this. Hope you all think it's as cool as I do. And as always, have a great day wherever you are.